Hey guys, what's up? My name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I make a bunch of videos on just lifestyle stuff, how to get through school. I am an A&M student, so you'll see a lot of that stuff. But today we are talking about something that has been paramount in transforming my life, and I want to pass that on to you because it's so essential to know this, and it's better to know it sooner rather than later, because no matter how old you are, you can pick up on self-discipline, but many people don't get it until later on in life, and sometimes they never get it at all. But self-discipline has completely changed my life and how I go about things and my future goals and my everyday experiences. And I would love for you to also have self-discipline or work on your self-discipline, and hopefully if some of these tips or anecdotes can help you in that. So what is self-discipline? Self-discipline is defined by the ability to overcome one's weaknesses, and that has a lot of weight in that one sentence. What are your weaknesses? In order to work on self-discipline, you have to first recognize those weaknesses. So in high school, I lacked self-discipline completely. I had to wake up at 5 a.m. for school. I mean, some people have called that self-discipline, but really I have to get to school one way or the other, and that is the 6 a.m. bus. So I woke up at 5 a.m. and I was so tired at the end of the week that I would sleep into 11, 12, even the afternoon. And this made me lose a ton of my day where I could have been productive, I could have studied, I could have just hung out with friends, literally anything else besides just staying in bed. And while sometimes that's really awesome to do, it actually really took an effect on my physical health. I started getting migraines around sophomore, junior year, and they would last 24 to 48 hours. This happened when I slept in. And so even throughout high school, when I had these migraines, I wouldn't do anything about it. I wouldn't get up earlier. I really don't know why they're there, and I still get them if I sleep in, but I did nothing about that issue, right? So I had my laziness, and it came with a ton of consequences, but I didn't deal with the consequences by first fixing my laziness. But the consequence were these terrible migraines that made me feel sick, like nauseous, and I can't look into the light. I can't do any activities. So when I got to college, I had a choice. I could suffer the consequences and sleep into all my heart's content, because now I have that freedom of choosing my school schedule and I'm not at home where people can wake me up, or I can switch up my sleep routine. So I choose the latter. I chose the latter specifically so I can fix these damn migraines that hurt so bad. And they did go away. I started waking up at around 7 a.m. It's not too early, you hear people like The Rock who wake up at like 5 a.m. I'm not that. I just started waking up at 7 a.m. every single day of the week. That includes weekends. That includes Saturdays and Sundays, which meant partying wasn't really an option. I'm not a partier anyways, but you definitely wouldn't be able to do it if you were up drinking all night. When you go from waking up at 11 to waking up at 7, that's a drastic difference. I mean, that's what, like a 4-hour shift? But my migraines went away with this, right? So I saw results from my work. And sometimes, a lot of the time, I failed. I didn't get up at 7 a.m. and I would sleep in and I would get sick. And that would remind me to keep working at it, keep working at changing my sleep schedule so I can wake up earlier. But that wasn't the only thing that I got from waking up earlier. My productivity increased insanely. I was able to get so much work done in the early morning and have the afternoon to either do other projects like YouTube, which is a really important thing to me, or writing or other organizations. When I started waking up at 7 a.m., naturally I had a morning routine shift. I would get my coffee and I would sit down. I started journaling, which has so many benefits. I should do a video on journaling later, but I started journaling and I ended up getting workouts in. It completely transformed my everyday routine from waking up and then going on my phone and then maybe getting to the computer, maybe doing some work, and then taking a ton of breaks to look at Instagram, to now waking up and getting everything done before noon. But this took a ton of self-discipline, and I was frustrated most of the time. I felt groggy, but I got used to it. I took my weakness, which was laziness or sleeping in, worked at it to transform it into a time of productivity. But that's exactly what self-discipline is. It's never going to be easy because you're constantly working to better yourself. So how do you even start, and how do you self-discipline yourself? Eliminate the buts and the what ifs and what if I and but I can't. Stop. Do not tell yourself that stuff, because your brain will believe what you're telling yourself, right? So if you look in the mirror and say, I am not pretty, you start believing you're not pretty. If you say, oh, but waking up in the morning makes you feel groggy, then you're not gonna wanna wake up in the morning. It's really hard, but you essentially have to slash away those ifs and buts. In high school, I used to say, oh, but I'm sleeping in because I need the rest. Sleeping in was actually making me more tired, and it was making me sick. Once you change your mindset and eliminate the ifs or buts and change it to, let's do this, or I want to be like this, or I want to do this, I want to wake up at 7 a.m. and be productive, your brain starts to motivate itself, and you can do this. Instead of focusing on the initial action, which would be my just waking up at the alarm, focus on getting from point A to B. I'm not waking up to wake up at the alarm, right? I'm waking up to get rid of my migraines. You're not getting out of bed to drive to the gym. You're getting out of bed to get in shape, to lose weight, to get toned. I also talk about this all of the time because it is proven to be true. If you write down your goals, you are so much more likely to fulfill them. At the end of every single day, I write down my goals for the next day. So I wake up and know exactly what I need to do, and most of the time I get pretty much all of them done. But it doesn't have to be just goals for the next day. It can be years down the road. I always put the goals that I really want when it comes to YouTube or school, whatever, near my computer. What's really important is waking up and seeing those goals, so you're reminded constantly, what are you working towards? I don't care if you put them near your computer, on your refrigerator, by your bedside. I literally have it written down on my wrist, which probably isn't good because I heard ink is toxic. But that is how I make sure to stick to my goals. Just have it wherever you can see it, so you're always reminded that's what you're striving for. Out of all of the practices I could give you, this is the one I would love for you to try on your own. It is so easy. It takes like 5 minutes to write down what you need to do the next day, and to see your own progress after writing down your goals is really awesome, seeing where you've came from and where you're headed. Now, this next tip is for like 90% of people, because I feel like most of us struggle with it, especially if you're on social media a lot, but that is step away from your phone for a good while. In the beginning of quarantine, my phone time was so bad. It was up to 11 hours a day. And I mean, yes, that includes music and stuff, but that is terrible. I'm always constantly having background noise. We need to learn to be okay with the silence and to step away from our phones. So one thing to allow yourself to focus on those goals that you have is to put your phone aside. Put it on silent. I know that you can even go into settings and schedule how much time you want to spend on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter each day, and then it shuts it off for you. Because this is something that I have also struggled with and it kept me from being productive, I got an app called Forest a couple days ago, and I saw it through a YouTuber. But what it does is it motivates you to put your phone down for a specific period of time. I usually do it in hour increments, and it rewards you by planting little trees in a forest that you're growing. And the more time you spend away from your phone, the more unique and bigger trees that you can grow. But also, when you're spending time away from your phone, you rack up coins or points, and then you can put that towards real donations. funds. And those donations plant trees. So they have a variety of ways of trying to push you to put your phone away. So definitely check that out if you want to. I have found it super helpful for study time or just writing. But self-discipline requires a lot of work, and you can burn out if you're not careful. When I started getting up at 7 a.m., I started working 10, 12 hours a day continuously, including the weekends. And eventually that made me go crazy and exhausted me. It's really important to give yourself rewards for your hard work, whether that's a break, going to watch Netflix. And I prefer to have all of my work in the beginning of the day, so I have the afternoon to do whatever I like. I really like gaming, so it's usually that, but I can also be watching some of my favorite shows or just relaxing. If you've been super focused in your work, but you're starting to get a little tired, it's okay to step away and recharge for a little bit. Take a nap or grab a glass of water. Giving yourself a reward at the end of your work allows you to focus on what's the end goal. I want to get that reward, therefore I'm gonna study really hard. I'm gonna focus really hard on my work so I can get there faster. For example, if you're on a diet or if you're just trying to eat healthier and you try and eat really healthy all throughout the week, and you've been cooking meals and you've been grocery planning, and then you get to the end of the week, maybe you want a cheat meal. I don't really like that term because I think it's just rewarding yourself. Something that is your favorite food on Saturday. And so throughout the whole week, you know that you're gonna get this delicious meal if you eat really healthy and you really work on your own body. Self-discipline is made up of 3 things: consistency, focus, and an ultimate goal. And to have self-discipline, you need to have all 3 of these things. Without focus, you're going to lack consistency, and if you don't have consistency, you're never going to meet your ultimate goal in time, or it's going to take you absolutely forever, and it might even make you give up. I know that self-discipline is hard, but really it is a sign of maturity and wanting to better yourself. If you're working on your self-discipline, you know what your weaknesses are. You know that you need to work on yourself, and that's amazing. I think every single person on the planet needs to be in the process of making themselves better, because we're never going to be perfect. So even if you work on self-discipline for your whole life, you're never going to be perfect, and that's totally fine. But self-discipline is essential if you want to succeed in a variety of things. If you want to own a business, you have to have self-discipline to plan a schedule, get up really early in the morning, do things you might not want to do. If you want that 4.0 as a student, you need to study really hard over a long period of time. But self-discipline is also essential in relationships of any kind, whether it's with your parent or a friend or a sibling or your significant other. If you get in an argument with somebody, are you going to blow up in their face, or are you going to be able to keep your composure? Because ultimately you cannot control your surroundings and what's going on around you, but you can learn how to control how you react to them. It's all in your head, and it's all about controlling your thoughts. And the first action that you can take is writing down your weaknesses. What do you need to work on? Is it being on time? Is it waking up in the morning? Is it getting healthier? Is it sticking to your goals, or even just being more optimistic? I know 2 things that I am trying to work on right now is 1, uploading on time. As y'all know, I never upload on time, so that is one thing I really need to work on. Another thing is I cannot sit down and enjoy a book for my life, and I used to really be able to do this when I was younger. So I bought a couple books, and I'm really working on that. I'm sitting down and reading as much as I can without looking at my phone or stirring or getting up. But I totally believe that you can master self-discipline, and it just takes a few small actions to get the big actions rolling. But that is all I have for you today, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like or a comment down below. I love hearing from y'all. But if you want to hear more from me, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notifications every single time that I post, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!